Can you talk a little bit about what the Mamba mentality is? Because that's something that's been developing over, I don't want to say 20 years. It's been developing for 35 years, right? Since you were a little kid, that Mamba mentality, because you didn't start working when you got to the NBA. You started working when you were at Lower Merion, when you were in Italy, when you were 5, when you were playing Nerf basketball, right? So talk about the development of the Mamba mentality.
Well, I mean, overall, the idea is a very simple one. And, the Mamba mentality simply means trying to be the best version of yourself. That's what the mentality means. It means every day, you're trying to become better. And it's a constant quest. It's an infinite quest. So starting at the age of 2, when I first started playing the game, and on and on and on, I always ask questions. I always try to get better every single day, learn more.
You were asking questions at 2?
Oh, dude, I was asking questions all the time. I mean, you'd be surprised. Like some people, like my kids at 2 could do a lot of things. Mm-hmm. Right? At 2, I could dribble a basketball. I could shoot a basketball on the Nerf hoop at the house. And I would go to practice with my father. I would observe my father. I'd sit and watch games with him. And
was he your first coach?
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could say that. A lot of things I learned by being around the game. Mm-hmm. Right? So by the age of 6, I was already strategizing versus other 6-year-olds. At the age of 6, I figured out 6-year-olds couldn't dribble with their left hand. And so I said, okay.
A lot of 12-year-olds can't dribble with their left hand.
Well, imagine 6. So when I was playing these 6-year-old kids, I would make them dribble with their left because I knew they couldn't. And so they dribble off their foot, I'd pick it up, lay it up. Do it again, dribble off foot, pick it up, lay it up. So at 6 years old, I had 63 points. And and I remember my dad.
So your 6-year-old self could beat your 38-year-old self because you only scored 60 in the last game.
Yeah, no, but I can dribble with my left though, so that's a problem. But yeah, I mean, listen, I just constantly looked for things to learn from, and very observant.
What was a pivotal moment growing up where you developed your desire and the tremendous work ethic I speak on and mental toughness that you have? What was there early on? Pick that up.
I'm trying to remember. I mean, we had a really competitive household with my cousins and my father and my uncle and stuff. Like we was very competitive, and you had to really, really work to just survive. Like that's with swimming, that's playing basketball, that's playing video games, whatever. I mean, it was a shit talking family. Like when you lose, you not only lose, but you get embarrassed while you lose. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I grew up in that kind of environment. So you had to work hard just to kind of keep your head above water, sort of thing. And I came into the NBA, I was like, man, these dudes really don't work that hard. It was kind of an eye opener. I was like,
so I get traded. Shaq comes to Miami. I go to Los Angeles. I'm with Kobe first day, press conference. He signs like $136 million. Never seen no shit like that before. So I'm like, wow, this is crazy. And the second he signed it, he's like, you ready to fuck blackout? And I was like, what is a blackout? He's like, we about to fuck blackout, be here at 7 a.m. tomorrow. And I was like, damn, blackout, 7 a.m. tomorrow. And the next day we started working out, and I realized what a blackout workout was. It was like you getting your reps in, you getting 50 shots from each spot, 100 makes off the move, you getting all this shit, then you get so tired, you see spots, you blacking out. And that was a blackout. And then guess what? I got to tell you the rest. So after that first workout, and you do ones at the end, you go get you something to eat, take about 3-4 hours to yourself, and you come back and you black out again.
Oh my God.
And we did this literally from free agency was always, first week of July. We did that shit all the way to training camp. And I was just like, dude, it's different. But all this shit, like the sacrifices, and when your motivation runs low, your discipline take over, all that shit that he was teaching us and instilling in us in the fabric of who we were as competitors, I saw it in real time in the best player on the planet. I was like, this dude is different.
He was misunderstood, man. I asked him one time, Matt, I said, man, why are you such an asshole? I asked him that. And he said, you really want to know? Mm-hmm. You know how he was. Mm-hmm. And he said to me, Phil, man, some of my teammates don't understand the work. He said, so I see dudes walk into practice 10 minutes before practice and they leave right after. Why the fuck am I gonna pass them the basketball? I don't respect their work ethic. I'm in here busting my ass every day, trying to perfect my craft, and these dudes don't want to work on their game. I don't trust them. So I'm not gonna pass them the basketball. I'm gonna ride them hard every day. Made perfect sense when he really broke it down as to why he is the way he is with certain dudes. I was just like, man, I respect that, bro.
But usually, I'm sleeping at 4 a.m. You're working out. So talk about that.
Okay, so if your job is to try to be the best basketball player you can be, right? To do that, you have to practice, you have to train, right? You want to train as much as you can, as often as you can. So if you get up at 10 in the morning, train at 11, right? 12, say 12, train at 12, train for 2 hours, 12 to 2. You have to let your body recover. So you eat, recover, whatever. You get back out, you train, start training again at 6. Train from 6 to 8, right? And now you go home, you shower, you eat dinner, you go to bed, you wake up, you do it again, right? Those are 2 sessions, right? Now imagine you wake up at 3, you train at 4. You go 4 to 6, come home, breakfast, relax, blah, blah, blah. Now you're back at it again, 9 to 11, right? You relax, and now all of a sudden you're back at it again, 2 to 4, and now you're back at it again, 7 to 9. Look how much more training I have done by simply starting at 4, right? And so now you do that, and as the years go on, the separation that you have with your competitors and your peers just grows larger and larger and larger and larger and larger. And by year 5 or 6, doesn't matter what kind of work they do in the summer, they're never going to catch up because they're 5 years behind. Right? So it makes sense to get up and start your day early because you can get more work in.
Is that genetic? Or is that something you ingrained and trained yourself?
No, it was
Who
just,
taught you that?
For me, it was just common sense. Like I can if I start earlier, I can train more hours, and I know the other guys aren't doing it because I know what their training schedule is, right? So I know if I do this consistently over time, the gap's just going to widen and widen and widen and widen and widen, and they won't be able to get that back. So to me, it was just common sense. I'm like thinking, how can I get an advantage? Oh, start earlier. Yeah, let's do that.
Look, I always try to outwork people, right? That's just how I made my mark. So the game was at 7. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna come to the Staples Center because we're playing. This is when the Lakers had Kobe and Shaq. Right. Okay, this is like the championship Lakers. I was like, I'm gonna get there at 3 o'clock, and I want to make sure I make 400 made shots before I go back into the room, and then I sit in the sauna and I get ready for the game. So, get in the car, get to the gym, get there, and as I'm walking onto the court, who do I see? I see Kobe Bryant already working out. And I'm like, okay, it's kind of cool. It's Kobe. What's up, Kobe, So I worked out for a good hour and a half. And when I came off, after I was done, I sat down, and of course I still heard the ball bouncing. I looked down, I'm like, this guy's still working out? He was working out for it looks like he was in a dead sweat when I got here. Right. And he's still going. And it's not like his moves are nonchalant or lazy. He's doing game moves. In that game, he drops 40 on us, okay? And after the game is over, I'm like, I have to ask this guy. I have to understand why he works like that. Right. So after the game is over, I'm like, hey, Kobe, why were you in the gym for so long? He's like, because I saw you come in. And I wanted you to know that it doesn't matter how hard you work, that I'm willing to work harder than you.